All right, game 2 time. We have our Blue Zerg at the top of the map, GSL Crossfire from the Team Incredible Miracle. It is NesTea, a delicious drink, a delicious Zerg player to watch. And down at the bottom of the map, we have our yellow Protoss player from the Team OGS, that stands for Old Generation Starcrafters. It is MC. We have 2 GSL champions battling it out. MC battling for his life right now.
Yeah, if he doesn't win this one, he's going to be down 2 games.
Yeah, and then the results of the next match will be very, very important, where it'll be MC versus MMA.
Well, here comes MC, sneaking into NesTea's base with his little covert probe.
Well, not so covert anymore.
Yeah, he's been totally spotty. He should have gone around the backside. He should have broken down the rocks with his little particle beam slowly.
He can do it. He can do it. It's kind of like the same weapon that R2-D2 has. He's got that little zapping thing. It's like a little taser from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I think they're one and the same, those weapons. The particle beam.
Particle beam hates zapping thing. You didn't get that reference, did you?
What is that? I'm sorry.
That was a reference to the song Particle Man by They Might Be Giants. It wasn't a very good reference, but...
Well, I gotta listen to that song. I like They Might Be Giants. I haven't heard that one yet, though.
I've actually seen them live. I never thought I would get to, but then they did like a tour in the early 2000s. It was awesome.
Well, were they giants?
They were huge, man. They were like 40 feet tall. They were actually giants.
I wasn't sure. I thought they might be, but...
There's no more question, man. It's their next CD is just going to be called They Are Giants.
It's like the artist formerly known as Prince.
That's right. The artist formerly known as maybe being Giants are now just the Giants.
Well, MC sees everything that's going on. He knows it's going to be a speedling expand. He's actually checked to see whether or not he continued to mine gas, and NesTea actually pulled all of his drones out of gas. So he's going to be getting that hatchery down very quickly with the speedling expand that he's doing.
Yep, pretty normal opening from both players. Not really a lot of signs of what each player is planning on doing for their overall strategy this game yet.
Yeah, well, MC could do something similar to what he did last game, but I don't think he will. It's a very difficult map to do a fast expand on like that because the choke point is so wide open on Crossfire.
Well, he's been doing these sort of like early roach things too, and it's kind of a newer way to play for him, and I don't know if it's really working out quite as well. It could be because it's newer to him, but it could also be because it's just not as good as what he used to do.
Yeah. Well, this probe checked to see if NesTea was taking a hidden third or a fast third base, or rather his natural over there, but he actually may end up losing this probe for that reason, but it looks like it just barely will be able to escape.
He's going to be fine. Don't worry about that probe.
Well, if the Stalker helps out the probe, he's going to be totally fine. I find it a little bit weird that MC checked that location because there's no way he could have had 2 hatcheries down at once. It's impossible. You can't have a speedling expand with a hatchery over there first. Doesn't make sense.
It's not true. It's impossible.
It's impossible. Well, it looks like MC is actually going to be doing that identical build to what we saw last game.
Yep.
It's going to be much more difficult to pull off, and guess what build is actually really good for Zergs on this map?
What is that? Yeah.
I told you before you even guessed.
I was kind of
That's how I play guessing games.
I said it kind of slow and weird. Instead of being like, what's that, Wolf? In a really sort of smart sounding way, I said, what is that?
Well, I think we're going to see actually somewhat of a repeat of last game. And
definitely could.
It's going to be difficult for MC to pull off a win against that type of style.
Well, we did call MC the underdog in this series as well, and he really is. I mean, he's down in Code A, certainly not, at the point where he can, be expected to make it to the GSL finals like NesTea maybe could be, or maybe MMA even at this point. But he's still a very good Protoss, and I guarantee you that he's practicing a lot more now than he was recently. And there's a Stargate.
Okay, so quicker Stargate this game. I like that. That's going to make it a lot easier for him to control the way the game goes. Stargate, for those of you guys that don't play Protoss or don't play it, at a high level, what the Stargate does for Protosses and PvZ is it makes the Zerg react. It actually controls the game. It makes you the boss of what's going on. It makes the Zerg react because if the Zerg doesn't do, 3 or 4 different things like increasing queens, adding spores, connecting creep, if he doesn't do all of these things, then you can actually just win. So you force the game to go in your favor. And then, of course, stops openings like mutas, for example. NesTea can't use mutas very well now because there's already a Stargate out. He knows that Phoenixes can be switched into very easily, and then he won't be able to use his mutas like he wants to. So it kind of forces into Hydras. Then from there, NesTea is kind of trapped because MC is already going to have Colossi out. It's kind of one of those I am one step ahead of you type of things to do.
Yeah, that's the plan. Now, will he be able to execute it against such a good Zerg player like NesTea? That's the question. Because NesTea, man, he always seems to find those like little things he can do to sort of get around stuff that most Zergs kind of scratch their head and go, well, I don't know what to do about this. NesTea knows, man.
He does. Now, the lair is finished here. It's a pretty quick lair. He's finishing it at 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he's starting...
burrowed roach movement.
Yeah, burrowed roach movement, not roach speed. So he's got a plan in mind.
And burrow, because he needs that with burrowed roach movement.
Well, I'm kind of surprised by this. Now, it's going to be difficult to use that movement at the natural of MC, but I think what he wants to do is actually just use it for trapping mechanisms.
Yeah.
In the middle of the map.
I wonder if he's a little bit worried about some sort of, 5-gate push from MC as well. I mean, that type of thing can work on this map too. I mean, he saw some of the units for MC out there. So a lot of Zergs, now this was maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, like to get that really fast burrowed roach speed to get by force fields. So it could be NesTea might just be reading the situation wrong too.
Well, what MC is doing in the middle of the map with his Void Ray is just picking off the Zerglings on the Watchtower. He wants to control the Watchtower so that NesTea doesn't see these attacks coming. Unfortunately, though, he didn't clear the first one, so NesTea does see the attack coming. Nice transfuse on that Overlord. He's trying to keep it alive.
And another transfuse goes down. That Void Ray needs to pull back. Oh, he does get the Overlord, but he loses a lot of health on that Void Ray. I don't know if that was worth it, but...
Well, Burrow and Burrowed movement are finishing right as this attack is hitting. He's going to be able to go right under any force fields that are placed, and here he goes. Yep. Pylon is canceled. And MC actually has no idea these roaches are chasing.
He needs to make a run for it right now. He knows, he knows exactly what's going on. He's like, oh, I have nothing to detect these roaches with. I better move or I'm going to die.
And MC actually needs to destroy his own wall off here so they can get home.
Yep. Wants to make sure he can get back in the base. Play defensive.
And now he knows what's going on because NesTea jumped the gun a little bit with some of those roaches. So he's absolutely aware of that there is a photon cannon.
Oh, here come the burrowed roaches. And coming in range, like you said, of the cannon. He's going to need to be careful with that.
It looks so funny. Watching the Void Rays just give up. They're like,
like, oh, I can't see it anymore. I guess it must be gone. Out of sight, out of mind, Wolf.
Well, right now, MC is Chrono boosting out, and Observer wants to get that out ASAP, and NesTea is bringing queens.
Oh, interesting. All right. So, if it ever gets there, he may decide to just push with roaches and queens and transfuse the roaches.
Well, he wants to deal with the Void Rays as well, because the Void Rays are going to be pretty good for defense. Yeah. He is bringing all 3 queens here. So if NesTea can catch these Void Rays, it's not going to be easy. I'd be really pleased with how that goes for him. In fact, one of the Void Rays of MC is going to check for 3rd base in the north right now, and actually, the Void Rays just aren't going to be here.
Huh.
Here comes the roaches right now. There are so many roaches, 33 of them. Burrowing wants to go into the force fields, but with that Observer there, he's missed the timing that he wanted to use.
Yep. Did get the transfuse off on that. Now MC moving his Void Rays up there because he knows that all the queens are down there. What he doesn't know, though, is that there's going to be some Hydras coming out for NesTea, and those are going to handle the Void Rays very easily. Is NesTea going to push? It looks like he's going to. Here we go. And some nice force fields splitting up the roaches. NesTea needs to pull back right away.
Now what NesTea is actually trying to do here is set up a contain on MC.
Yeah.
Now when he gets those Hydras there, those are going to be the ones that do the real damage. Those are going to be able to pick away at buildings.
Exactly.
And it's going to be difficult for MC to attack the Hydras without taking a ton of roach damage, so he's just going to patiently poke here, and here we go. MC making a huge mistake, sending Zealots out through a choke point. He can't even get out. It's a terrible place to attack.
Force fields preventing some of the roaches from getting through, but the Hydras are still able to fire from behind.
Yeah, this is exactly what NesTea wanted. He just has so many units here. These pylons are falling so quickly, and MC is in a lot of trouble.
Wow. Really, really nicely played. And look at that. Void Ray is not going to be able to do a whole lot against some Spore Crawlers. That Queen might go down, though, but in the meantime, MC losing more and more units. Hydra range being very, very effective against that.
He's out of force field energy. He's got about 2 force fields left, and well, actually he had about 4, but he put them on top of each other, so it's practically 2.
Oh, the Colossus steps in.
Oh, the Colossus stepping on top of roaches, man.
Stepped way too far in, actually, yeah.
And it does get targeted down, and now MC does not have much of an answer for the Hydras, which are doing a ton of damage. He has +1 missile attacks with these Hydras and these Roaches.
And MC is just going to plain old lose this game, I think. Is that one pylon powering everything in the main base, too?
Yeah, it looks like it. And is he going to target it?
Yeah, GG! And NesTea coming back with a quick 2-0 against OGSMC. What do you know? All right. So now, how this works, I believe, is if MMA beats MC, then MMA is obviously going to be in first. NesTea would be in second.
Yeah.
And if MC beats MMA, then everybody will be 1-1, won't they?
Yeah,
we'll
have a redo if that happens. But
yeah.
There's the rematches, the tiebreakers are best of one. So
they are? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's going to be pretty... if MC does end up winning this, it's going to be pretty quick. And it's going to be
forever.
Sudden death, pretty much, if you lose, you're out.
Yeah.
So see how that ends up going here.
It all comes down to MMA versus MC, and MMA, man, if he plays his TVP like he played his TVZ that first match, I don't think MC's got a chance.
I don't think so either. You know, MC did not look very strong against NesTea at all. NesTea crushed MC, even though MC knew what he was doing. That's just how
good he
safe
is.
and ahead NesTea was in that game.
Yeah. This will be exciting, though. MC's TVP for a while was just very aggressive, very abusive, and then he started getting really, really greedy. He started going Nexus first a lot. He started going one-gate Nexus. And we saw players like Pulp just be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just 3-Rex and kill you then.
People figured out his timing attacks also.
Yeah, that too.
He was one of the first players to really utilize that awesome 6-gate with Sentry Heavy, great force fields and bunkers, things like that. He was one of the first players to do that, and that became the trend for a while. And that was actually the time where people said Protoss is imba, because Protoss was a 6-gate, 7-gate, 8-gate,
yeah,
7-gate +2 with a blink and one observer, like those types of timing attacks. And that's part of the reason why even now we have Protoss struggling, I think, is because Protoss has latched onto those timing attacks, and now that they're not working anymore, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, Protoss, I mean, everyone's kind of saying, oh, they're so weak right now, but really they're just in kind of a stage of growth is what I like to call it. We're going to move into the game, MMA versus MC. Let's do it.